Today we are down at the UNSW Anzac Parade light rail station. We're going to be meeting with construction and project managers that were on the project to look at the materials used and the processes behind it. Before the light rail opened in 2020, a lot of students coming to uni had to rely on either driving or on getting the bus. Buses became overcrowded because of so many students coming to uni, and driving was becoming expensive and also releasing a lot of carbon emissions into the environment. Hence why they built the light rail, which is more efficient, especially with the stops, the materials. Yeah. The Anzac Parade light rail opened on the 3rd of April 2020. It has 15 stops between Circular Quay and Junior Kingsford. We're speaking here with Ryan Johnson, who was one of the construction and project managers on the project. Ryan, what is a light rail?
The light rail is a tram-like method of transportation which travels throughout the city of Sydney. Light rails can occupy a greater number of people than buses due to its carriage system, and due to this increased occupancy and convenience, the usage of cars generally decreases. This ultimately leads to less traffic congestion, resulting in lower greenhouse gas emissions and environmentally friendly transport options, which is more sustainable.
This is Robert Turich, another construction consultant on the project.
The following video will focus on a detailed analysis of the structural materials such as concrete and steel, and non-structural materials such as bronze and glass used on the light rail station. Furthermore, it will highlight the properties and functions of each material in addition to the factors which have impacted the selection of these materials. Moreover, a life cycle sustainability assessment was performed on one structural material and one non-structural material in order to highlight how these materials traverse throughout their lifespan, disposal, and the overall impact to the environment. In addition, sustainable alternatives will be provided to the materials assessed and approaches to enhance sustainability of these materials.
So Ryan, what would you say was one of the main structural materials used on the light rail?
Well, concrete was the main structural material used to support the tracks during the project. Through developing the foundation and the concrete slab along the ground for the steel. Additionally, concrete was used for the construction of the platform right here, which is used a similar foundation to the light rail base.
So Ryan, tell us a bit more about the properties and functions of concrete.
Yeah, well, concrete is a mixture which is composed of rough and smooth aggregates, water and cement, which is then combined and hardened over time, forming a solid substance. Concrete is a material that is strong in compression, however is weak in tension. Concrete is durable and strong, being able to withstand heavy loads and harsh weather conditions, while also being highly fire resistant, which reduces the risk of structural damage.
So, Robert, Ryan was talking about the structural materials used in the light rail. Is there any others besides concrete?
Yeah, the light rail also used steel as the primary structural material for the tracks. Galvanized steel posts were also used as structural components for the support of the power lines in order to operate the line.
So can you tell me a bit more about the properties and functions of steel?
Steel is an alloy composed of carbon and iron that is utilized widely in the construction industry. Steel is a malleable, ductile material that is easy to weld due to its high metal. Steel is also electrically conductive and strong in both tension and compression, meaning that it has the ability to withstand dynamic forces. Steel is also relatively low in weight and cost effective, which can be utilized to construct structures cost effectively and quickly.
So in terms of the non-structural materials used throughout the project, can you tell me one?
Yeah, so for the covering of the shelter surrounding the station, bronze was utilised, as it complements Sydney's other historical buildings such as the Opera House, but it also adds to the aesthetic design and architecture of the light rail.
So can you tell me about the properties and functions of bronze?
Yeah, well, bronze is an alloy composed of tin and copper. However, other materials such as zinc, aluminium, nickel, manganese, and many others can make up its composition, affecting its properties. Bronze has a great surface finish that looks aesthetically appealing and has a high ductility, melting point, corrosion, and metal fatigue resistance, low friction, high electrical and thermal. Okay, Connor, so what's another non-structural material used in the construction of the light rail?
For the light rail station, glass is used for design and aesthetic purposes. The glass creates a unique modern design which creates the station to be more visually appealing. A life cycle sustainability assessment was done on concrete. Ryan, can you please tell us more about this?
Yeah, well, in relation to the environment, the production of concrete can be seen to have a high carbon footprint as a result of cement manufacturing, which accounts for 8% of global CO2 emissions. The transport of concrete through a mixed truck can result in increased fuel consumption and emissions due to the heavy weight of the truck. Now, economically speaking, concrete construction stimulates economic growth within Australia, in addition to the creation of jobs with over 38,000 workers in Australia. This highlights the large role the concrete industry plays in providing employment, which ultimately helps contribute to the country's GDP as a result of the construction of infrastructure, housing, and schools. Socially, concrete provides benefits through developing strong infrastructure, which allows individuals to use the Anzac Parade light rail. This infrastructure helps enhance public safety through the development of low-maintenance pathways and platforms for individuals to use while using this form of public transport.
Life cycle sustainability assessment was also done on bronze. Robert, can you tell us more about this?
In reference to the environment, the process of manufacturing bronze begins with the extraction of copper ores through mining, which is followed by the process of alloying. Um, Additionally, the extraction of copper from mines results in a negative carbon footprint on the environment due to increased fossil fuels from large machinery. Economically speaking, bronze is a commonly used material in construction due to its long lifespan, which is beneficial as it does not require frequent maintenance, therefore provides economic benefits. Its formation provides a large range of jobs through areas such as mining, transport, drivers, and its manufacturing, leaving a boost in the economical promotion of jobs. Socially, the bronze used provides architectural excellence and design. This makes it visually appealing to look at, enhancing its engagement for individuals as a result of the construction of new infrastructure.
After talking with Robert and Ryan a bit more closely, there are also more alternatives that we could use in terms of concrete. For example, green concrete. Green concrete is an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional concrete that uses less material in its composition. Green concrete utilizes waste materials from a variety of sources including residue, mines, quarries, and power plants. However, the disadvantage of green concrete can include structures having a decreased lifespan, corrosion possibly occurring in steel reinforcement depending on whether the aggregates contain corrosion-leading agents, and green concrete containing less split tensile strength than traditional concrete. Alternative would include ashcrete. Ashcrete is a more sustainable alternative to traditional Portland cement that utilizes fly ash waste material discarded from the combustion of coal. Ashcrete is created with approximately 93% recycled material, which reduces carbon emissions, and ashcrete has a high durability and strength while being more cost-effective than traditional concrete. However, the setting time and time to develop strength when compared to traditional concrete is longer, which can delay project times. Another alternative for bronze would be brass. Brass, similar to bronze, is a part of a category of metals known as red metals. Brass is 100% recyclable and does not lose any quality after being recycled and is generally less expensive than bronze. This leads to increased cost effectiveness and decreased impact of the environment. However, brass has a gold coloration unlike bronze, which has a reddish coloration, which may impact aesthetics like the current light rail. Ryan, back when you were working on the light rail, what do you feel you learnt the most?
Well, as this is my first project, I believe I learned how concrete and steel are very beneficial materials to use due to their increased strength and cost effectiveness in major construction projects.
So, Robert, what do you feel you learnt the most when you were working on the project of the light rail?
I discovered that the use of sustainable building materials can positively impact the construction industry by limiting the effect on the environment.
Very good. I think that for me and us, even as an audience, maybe found it very interesting to find out that bronze was used on the canopies of the light rail stations, and that brass could have been another alternative. To finish off this documentary, the Anzac Parade UNSW light rail stop is an architecturally simple and impressive station. It is a better use of transportation, especially for uni students or even workers in the area, and it's a very efficient station as it is contributing less to carbon emissions in the area.